Happy New Year! Welcome to my first live of the year. Let me invite my co-host for today. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. I hope everyone is excited for 2025. I know I am. Lots and lots of big changes happening this year. Hello, Sean.
Hello, how you
I'm
doing?
fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, good to
Like,
see you again. Happy New
absolutely.
Year.
Let me turn this. Okay, that's easy. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah,
How was the holidays?
it was great. I was over in Texas, so the weather was better than Canada, so can't complain too much.
Yeah, like not, yeah, I would definitely say that's better
It
weather.
is better weather. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Okay, so welcome everyone. If you can let us know where you're joining us from. Today we're talking about New Year, New You, New Man. And I have Sean with me today. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Joan, the elite dating coach for divorced women over 40, and I help women become magnetic so that they can attract their desired dream man. That's who I am. So maybe Sean, you can give people a brief intro on who you are, and then we can get started.
yeah. My name is Sean Morris, and I live in the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina. My specialty is around technology, but I have taken I guess develop an affinity for helping men, especially, but really people overall to come into a place of awareness and try to make life better. Right? We all want the same things, but we struggling to get it.
Yeah.
Right? And so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean and I we met late last year,
Yeah.
and I think just right off the bat, it was just obvious that we kind of have the same mindset. And you're right, everybody is kind of looking for the same thing. And if there's a way that we can help make it easier, because it's not an easy journey, even if you know the way, if there's a way that we can help make it easier for people, I think that's a beautiful thing, and that's kind of why we're here today.
Yeah,
So today we are talking
absolutely.
about all things relationships, and just I know we're going to be jumping into what people should look forward to in 2025 in terms of relationships and how the whole dynamics works today. But let's do a bit of a step back. Let's look at 2024. What were some of the things that you saw in 2024 in terms of dating, in terms of mindset? What has been happening with this shitty world of dating?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are just, I guess they have more of a negative view on dating. That's number one. Like it's just terrible. I think in 2024 we saw kind of an increase of content around men versus women, right? Um, and just a lot of things that just put us against each other versus trying to figure out how we can come together or figure things out. And really a lot of this stuff is fighting us or turning us against ourselves in terms
Mhm.
of us being able to get what we want. And so I think that's been a big thing in 2024. And you just hear the stories over and over. Oh, it's not working for me. I'm not gonna basically I'm gonna just, be by myself the rest of my life and die. Like, what? That's not what you want. That's not what any of us want, right? So what are you talking about? How about you?
Exactly. And it's funny you say that because I work with women, so I hear it from the women's perspective, but I do talk to men as well. And you're right, like everyone is blaming the other side of the fence. It's like, no, it's the
Mhm.
men's fault. No, it's the women's fault. They're no good men. They're no good women. So I have men in my DM all day, every day saying, Joan, can you introduce me to a great woman? But the same thing, I have all these great women saying, Joan, where are the men? So there's got to be something missing here. There's got to be a disconnect,
Yeah.
right? We've been pitched
Yeah.
so much against ourselves that we're not able to see or be open to
Yeah.
receiving love and seeing the other side. So that's what I've seen. It's gotten so negative now. The mindset that there are no good men out there, all the good ones are taken. People just want to play. No one wants to commit.
Yeah.
People are just users. That's the same thing I keep hearing, and that's what I heard all of 2024. And I think that's been the biggest challenge for people who really, like you said, people have said, "Oh, I'm just going to be by myself," but deep down inside, that's not what they want.
Not at
So the
all.
question now is, what is the way out? Because for me, and I think same for you, the mindset is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things? Let's stick with 2024 before we jump into 2025.
I mean, I think that the biggest thing, so I'll even go back beyond 2024. Um, the thing that changed most for me was um, coming or divorce, period, point blank, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I decided to get divorced, I went through this thing where I was like, yo, it's got to be something else. Like, one, there must be something wrong with me, and I need to figure out what's really going on, and then like, who am I really, right? And that led me into a place of awareness, of that mindset shift of like, I need to be more self-aware first, right? And that is something that is not, I mean, where do you learn that? I mean,
Nowhere.
we're talking about it now, right? In this day and age, sorta. But like nobody ever talks about self-awareness and understanding yourself and
Mm-hmm.
therapy,
Mm-hmm.
all those kinds of things. And so that's where it changed for me. And it's just been a journey since then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely resonate with that, and that's where Sean came up with this topic, new year, new man. I'm not even going to take credit for that. That was all you, but I think that really speaks to the new you. A lot of us
Yeah.
have been conditioned by whatever, however we were raised on how to
Yeah.
view a relationship or what a relationship looks like, where it's just this magical boy meets girl, girl meets boy, girl likes boy, boy likes girl, you get married and you live happily ever after. But it really doesn't work that way. And a key thing you said is the you, really getting to figure out who you are.
Hmm.
Who is Sean, right? And who does Sean need to have a fulfilling, thriving relationship? If you don't know who you are, what exactly are you going after? You're just shooting blanks or shooting in the dark and just hoping that something sticks. That strategy, that type of just wing it till you win it, is not going to work this year. I think this is a pivotal time for people to really, really define and really become aware of who they really are. Because what works for me doesn't work for Jane, doesn't work for
Right.
Jackie, doesn't
Yeah.
work for any of the
Sure.
other Janes, right?
Sure.
It's just me. So who are you? What works for you, and what is it that you're desiring from a partner?
Yeah. And I would say, when you say, what are you desiring? I would even simplify it to, what do you want?
Mm,
Right. And maybe that's the first question you ask yourself. What do you want? Just period. Like, people, when you ask people that, they're like, huh? I'm like, no, sit down.
yeah.
Where's go to the store, get you journal, something.
$1 journal.
I, I don't know. If you just need to put on a piece of white paper, whatever, right? Go get your journal, right across the top. What do I want? And just write till you go, like, I don't care if you write 400 pages. I want this. I want that. It could be, I want a new a new fingernails color, to I want I want to feel X, Y, and Z inside, like anything, right? And then that'll actually, I think that ends up helping you decide what you desire in your relationship,
Mhm.
because you start to see some of those things actually move towards, like, what do you want in a partner? What do you want in a relationship? How do you want it to be? How do you want to feel? Like, all those things start to show up in
Mhm.
just doing that. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And that's really a very simple practice that anybody can do. And that's one of the things I work with my clients on, really getting clear on what it is that you want, right? Being able to clearly articulate that. It's not okay to say, oh, I just want a good person. What does that mean? Right? What are the experiences? How does this person make you feel? Like, what is good? Who defined this good?
Hmm.
What is good to me may not be you. So you need to get a little bit clearer on what it is that you're looking for. And that way you can kind of set a standard. I don't like what standard has just out, but again, you need to know what it is that you want for you.
Mhm.
And that's how you go trying to attract the person or looking for the person that you want to be in a relationship with. But I think
Yeah,
first things first, when you ask people why they even want a relationship, like people just don't know. It's like, because what?
because that's what I was told I was supposed to do.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
that simple,
Grow
right?
up, get a
It's
job,
not
get
like,
married.
yeah, right. Yeah. Oh no, I should, like, this is the next, and this is a terrible thing, but like it's because it's the next thing on the checklist or whatever, right? So like, oh, maybe I have this, I got a house, I got a car, I got a dog, I got a new laptop, I got a 58,000-inch TV. You know what? I think I'm supposed to have this person next, the relationship, or I'm
Yeah.
supposed to get married next, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like I know I look back in my case, getting married was the next thing on the list. So
Same
I
for
went
me.
and checked the box.
Hmm.
It was the most ridiculous thing to do. Most ridiculous. And I'm not saying like it was all bad. I'm just saying like to learn that as if like, oh, the American dream and this, that, you got to do this, you got to do this, go to school, get a good education, get a job, get a good, in my case, get a wife, get a dog, get a kid, fence, house, whatever. And you're just going through life, check, and then one day you wake up and it's like, hold on, this, maybe this isn't all. I don't know if I really wanted all this,
Yeah.
right? Just because you were told, and we never stopped to think about like what is it that I really and truly want, and am I getting that? Because we're happiest when we're getting what we want.
Hmm. Absolutely. We are happiest when we're
Yeah.
getting what we want. Okay, so maybe I can shift gears a little bit. So, in terms of what people want, there's this, I call it the social media list, right? What we see on social media of what, first of all, what men want in a woman, because what women think a high value woman is and what men think a high value woman is completely different.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the, I don't want to say delusional, but kind of delusional, unrealistic things that women are looking for in a man, and
Yeah.
maybe men are looking for a woman?
Yeah. So the whole six, was it 666 kind of thing? Anyway, yeah, like
There's 333, there's 333, there's 666, there's lots of
yeah, yeah,
stuff.
like
Social
so
media.
like
Mhm.
it's you see a lot of stuff in it. So much of it is driven around, at least for like women looking for men, and like this is the thing. So let's okay, six figures for example. Okay, now in the U.S., if you break this down, right, you have to do the math. So only is it like 10%? I can't remember what the percentage is. Anyway, I did I did the research on just black men, right? So how many black men, for example, make six figures in the U.S.? The number came up to be like around 380,000. Okay, whatever. Let's say it was 3 million. Well, there's 20, was it 21 million black women in America or something like that. We're if we're playing musical chairs, it's a whole lot of people that just lost the game.
Yep.
So
Wow.
how could you possibly think that we're all gonna get the six-figure dude? That's one. Then like it just doesn't make sense to me from a woman perspective. Like how can you think that you're gonna get these everybody's gonna get this criteria, but their number is so small or the number just doesn't align. Like
Mhm.
if if there was if we just say men and women relationships, right? Let's just say all men and all women, no all hetero relationships. If
Mhm.
you did that and you do the numbers, there's no way
That's an it.
somebody's
Mhm.
gonna be left out, right? And I just think that like you gotta kind of look at that first, right? And then and that delusion around that is just I'm like, no, let me show you on paper And then it's like, well, I'm the one who's supposed to get it. So does the other
Exactly.
58 million think that I'm the one.
That,
Right? But even if everybody thinks they're the one and we match it up, there's still a whole lot of people left.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So maybe there's a different, right? And then I think there's a misunderstanding on what men really want. Um, a lot of women get upset because as men will look at X, Y, Z type of woman on Instagram. Okay, big booty, whatever, blah, blah, right? And we're looking at it like, oh, so that's what you like, so you go buy it. No, we look at it visually, we may like it, but the other side of us is thinking, I don't want that. Like, first of all, you bouncing it all around on TV and Instagram and everywhere else, right? So that's not what we want.
Yeah.
And then for some of us, I'm thinking, why did you have to do all that? Right? Like, what is it inside of you that made you want to go do that? Especially, and now if you want some enhancement, because maybe, it's just some things you want to kind of fit, cool, right? But like, when you go out and it looks like a whole different, like, or
Yeah.
when you walk in the room, it's like, okay, come on now.
Hmm.
That what are
Just
we
the way that's,
doing?
yeah.
Yeah, right? Men don't want that. And truthfully, women, the man who wants that is not the man that you want
Mm.
because he has something inside of him that is not going to have that confidence and the I don't even I'm just going to say masculinity, right? And that authority that you really want as a woman, that's going to make you feel safe, that's going to like give you all these things because he wasn't the guy that actually was able to get the woman initially. He probably had, he probably made some money or whatever, and so now he's got this because he thinks that that's what the other guys are gonna. When in fact we're looking at him like, dude, like, fine. Like, I hate to take it back to like college, but like, I, prime example is we knew girls in college that got around,
Yeah.
and then you see you're married and you're like, oh, that's not a good choice.
Yeah.
Right? So like, and just women, I think the other big thing that I kind of came across was, and I tell my woman this, I'm like, you guys have never been required to understand what a man wants.
Mhm.
So if you look at TV, movie, whatever, it's always us figuring out what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you telling me that I'm supposed to just never want anything? Or that you think it's just like I just want sex and to feed me? Yeah, that's probably I mean that's a great start, but but I do want like hey, I do have a brain. I do, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're trying to build something together, that's not going to help us build,
Mhm.
right? And so like a lot of men, we want more, but if you've never been required to learn what we want, and then I tell you and you're mad, what do you want me to do? Right? So that whole phenomena of like, hey, listen, learn to listen, like you tell us, like women tell us, listen. Okay, Linda, I need you to listen to us, right? And so if you can start to listen to us and actually listen and say, oh, you mean to tell me, like, yeah, no, I don't. I understand that, like, hey, we all see the women, they look good, da da da. But when it gets down to one, we're talking about a mate, it's a whole lot different. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. But you're so right. Like we've never. It's always been the man pursuing. It's always been the man trying to win the woman over, and so women just think I just need to be pretty because again, that's what we see in the movies where it's all about your looks. It's all about being able to feed the man, for instance, and that's from our grandparents' age. That's kind of what they believe. If you can cook good and you can make him happy in bed, then you're good. But that's not happening anymore. But what that has kind of led to is now you have all these highly successful women who are now saying, but I'm this super ambitious, super alpha female, and I still can't get a man. What do men want? Like, I have my own house, I have my own car, I have my investment, whatever, whatever, whatever. Why is that not good enough for a man? Why can't I still get a man?
Um, I think that so the value of a woman is not in her stuff. For the type of man that you truly want, it is my job as a man for provision. That's how we internalize it. And what you're coming to me with is like, oh, I'm the provider. I got this. I got this. Like, well, you don't need me then. Effectively, that's what you're saying. I don't need you. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, I don't need you. And for men who maybe because just because of the statistics and whatnot, as far as what you see with like women college graduates, is so like so women are having the opportunity to make a lot more money than men and are right. And so and they've even shown the numbers about men dropping in terms of college degree, this, that, and the other, right? So the type of man that you want needs okay, women want to feel safe, men want to feel needed. Okay? We want to feel like we have some value in your life. If we don't have any value, I need to feel like like you need me, right? So if you walk up to me and you da 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 da, I'm like, oh, you don't need me. Next,
Yeah.
we don't have anything to talk about, right? You're not a man. I want a woman. I want the femininity. I want the divine feminine. I don't want more masculine. I don't want hairy legs rubbing against hairy legs. Like, what are we doing?
What's wrong with hairy legs?
No, seriously, right? I don't want rough against rough, right? I got calluses on my hands. Maybe my feet aren't. I haven't been to the. I was gonna say pedicures, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so then I don't want you. I don't want the same thing as what I already am and what I already have. So why don't come with that, right? And you see that like I see a lot of women that struggle with femininity,
Yeah.
right? And and I know my girlfriend, she talks to me, she asks me about like, well, what do you teach your daughter? I'm like, well, I teach my daughter that you have to be able to sustain yourself, but you also have to understand how I teach her like, hey, this is a man is going to want this. A
Mm-hmm.
man is going to want that. So you need to have this and present this. He doesn't care. Present this and do these things, he gonna ride with you, right? So it's about teaching how to provide for yourself, but you're not leading with I'm providing for myself. Right? You're showing like, hey, I'm the feminine piece, and then I'm down with helping you and being your helpmate, or however you want to say it. Like, I'm down with us getting together and doing the thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
that feminine piece is so like, Joan,
It's
please
so
help.
strong and it's so big and it's so difficult for a lot of women. And I can understand where the women are coming from. So for women who've been on their own, maybe they're a single mom, they've had to do everything for so long by themselves, it's a little bit difficult for them to switch on that femininity, but it's in there, right? And what we're saying is you can still do masculine things, like you can still be ambitious, you can still get that job, you can still take care of yourself, but when you show up, when you're ready to be in a relationship and you show up, you need to lead with your feminine side. No masculine man wants another masculine woman. It's just you need polarity. It just doesn't work.
Nope.
And then some people say to me, but, look, feel free to go be with a feminine man. That's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. Some people want that. Some people want men that they can control. And what if that's your gig, go for it. But if you're looking
Mm,
for a masculine man who's going to lead, right? Not necessarily control you, but lead and take
mm,
charge, right? And provide for you and take care of you. Because what women deeply want is that safety and security, period. So if you want those things from a masculine man, then you have to present yourself in the right way. Then you have to position yourself in your feminine energy and lead with that. Not your resume, not how many businesses you have, not how many degrees you have, not
Yeah.
how much money you have in the bank. No man cares. I'm just going to say it.
But hold up, John. So hold up. I gotta go back to what you said about a woman wanting a feminine. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna do the math on this, and that this is helping. If there's any women out here who watch this, whatever, like we think y'all feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? We lead with okay. You said so. Women want safety and security,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably where she's gonna be at her best, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get a feminine man and that you can control, are you really gonna be safe and secure? Is
No.
that really gonna? Okay, I just wanted to say that because okay, I just
No.
want to say that because I know for a fact that that don't
No,
work.
it doesn't work,
Okay,
right?
I
It doesn't
know
work.
for a fact. I know for a
I know
fact that if
for a
you,
fact.
yeah,
Been
okay,
there, done
so
that. Doesn't work.
and fellas, if you think that wife, happy life, and whatever she wants is gonna get it done, it's not. She will lose respect for you over time, and that safety and security is gonna go out the door. And after that, you can forget it. Everything's gonna dry up. I'll just say it like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so yeah.
So, so maybe we can kind of looking forward, right? So
Hmm.
we talked a little bit about 2024 and the early years and kind of the mindset that we've had over the last couple of years, where it was men against women. Women don't understand what men need. Women show up differently. Men don't do this. Men don't do that. It's pointing fingers. Fingers. We don't want to bring that into 2025. So for those people who truly want a partner, right? Not those who pretend to say, "Oh, I'm good being single." We're done with that in 2025.
Lies,
If you
lies.
truly want a partner, this is the
Yeah.
time to be bold about it and to really just say it. I want a man who's going to be XYZ. I want a relationship that's going to be XYZ. So, for those who want a loving, fulfilling relationship, what are some of the things that they can do moving forward in 2025 so that they can attract the type of men that they're really looking for?
Number one, you got to do the self work. Okay, what does that mean? It means that for the first time in your life, you might have to turn a mirror on yourself and be brutally honest with yourself. Okay. It means for the first time in your life, you might have to be accountable for the decisions you've made. If you are an adult, right, and I'm 52, right? If if you're anywhere in the age range plus or minus, I'm gonna say 20. uh, yes, we've all had traumas. Yes, we've all been through something, right? Some more than others. Um, and really, as an adult at this time, it's on you to decide whether or not you want to carry that forward. It's on you whether or not you want to whether you decide to continue to stay in that, right? And whether or not you continue to allow that to control you, right? And so you're going to have to go through some ugly, painful times because when you turn the mirror on yourself, it don't always look good. Right? I would tell you, there's gonna be some tears, some struggles, whatever. But like on the other side of that pain, like I always tell people, other on the other side of that pain is exactly what you want, right? It's exactly what you want for yourself. It's exact and what ends up happening is you start to open your eyes to new things, to new possibilities. Your energy changes. All these different things about you first changes. And then guess what? The type of man that you may have been looking for was not going to approach you at the way you were, right? But now that it's because you like, and I think you'll understand, like people who have done work understand this. When they meet people, you immediately are like, this way or that way. Like you've done work or you haven't. You know immediately.
Mhm.
And guess what? When they haven't, you're kind of like, I'm gonna go the other way. Right? The same thing happens when a man meets a woman who, when you have a man who's more, I guess, more self-aware, he's gonna look at you and be like, oh nah, I'm good with that. Like you can literally either feel the energy immediately or through several conversations, right? I'll give you an example. Um, I was talking, this was, I don't know, back a while ago before me and my girlfriend got together. I talked to this lady on the phone a couple of times and we were talking about speaking Spanish and she was like, oh, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z because you can't speak better than me. And I was like, after that, bye. Because I'm like, we're not going to be in
Yeah,
competition, right?
exactly.
So, like, understanding, like, when you do the work on yourself, you're going to attract different
Mm,
people, right? And then I think another big thing is, I know they say relationships are work. I'm kind of like, I don't know. First, I don't like to use the word work because it creates a negative connotation. Because people, when you say work, in our minds, I really truly believe work is like a job.
mhm.
And most people hate their job.
Yep.
Okay. So then if you approach the relationship like this, I'm just hypothetically, I don't know. And you said, you know what, we're in a relationship and I'm gonna be honest about how I feel, right? And you're gonna be honest about how you feel and what you think and feel. And sometimes I'm not gonna like it. And sometimes I will like it. And sometimes we'll agree and sometimes we won't. But that's okay, right? And we're going to show up as the best version of ourselves because we can be honest. And if it doesn't work out, it just means that it wasn't in alignment, right? It just means that, hey, like these two things don't, our wants don't go together, or how I feel about you may not be the same as what you feel about me, or like just different things may not align so that we can get together and be like this, right? And that's okay. Don't take it personal. Like if you go read the four agreements, you can see like it makes a lot of sense. So if you haven't read the four agreements, go check that out. Like, you know, if you approach it from like that, and then like, hey, if you and I say, hey, we're gonna be in this thing and we have intention, we set our intention, right? And we just say, hey, look, let's just do this and see where it goes. And if it works, right? And have intention, both of you, right? So if you're looking for a dude and he doesn't have intention, one, if a man, okay, I'm sorry, Joan, ladies,
Laid
okay,
off.
I know a lot of people like trip out on like, oh, a man will choose you, okay? If we come to you and say, look, hey, prime example, my lady, I think third, after the third date, I was like, hey, so what we doing? Like, we gonna, what we gonna do, right? We know when we want to take the step, okay? You don't need to do that
Mhm.
because we're hunters. Let us hunt. You just have to, put out the scent or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
Right? Let us hunt. We're gonna, and you don't want a man who doesn't want, like, who didn't choose you.
Mm,
And once he chooses you, please accept that he chose you. That means he has intent. That
mhm,
means he's focusing on you, right? It doesn't mean that he's focusing on past or present, whatever. He's focusing on you. So whatever you think about other women, da 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 da, kill it, because all you're gonna do is introduce stuff into your relationship that doesn't need to be there,
mhm,
and then it's gonna show up. I'll use the common word insecure, even though it's all related to our traumas, but over time it's kind of like the reverse of the thing with a man who's more feminine and doesn't create safety and
Mm.
security, right? It starts to bleed into the lack of confidence and the different things that your man wants you, because he doesn't want to have to try to compensate for your stuff, right? And that's what happens, and that kills the relationship.
It does.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that's I really could always go back to it, starting with us
Yeah.
and lady, and you will attract the man that you more so desire,
Hmm.
and you'll be able to filter out the nonsense. Because I even look at my mom, I'm like, Ma, you weren't a good decision maker as far as men.
Yeah.
I can say that about my mom, right? I tell my girlfriend something like, you didn't make good
Okay, exes.
decisions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like you wanted this and this and this. Well, why did you?
Why'd you settle for this? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
right.
just want to recap because you have said a lot.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I just want to recap. I want to make sure I got all of this. So we're talking about how we are moving forward in 2025
Yeah.
to ensure that we're able to attract and have the type of relationships that we're looking for. So the first step is that awareness. Do the work on yourself so that you show up differently. Your energy is different, and you start attracting the right kind of people. The second thing is really, I think I'm going to use it around the man choosing you. So don't be in a hurry to be saying, what are we? What are we? You just do you, stay in your feminine energy and let the man choose you. Another critical thing that you said is not every relationship is going to be forever. We have to focus this year on alignment. You can like someone, you might vibe with the person, but if you aren't aligned, it's okay if the relationship does not work out. Misalignment is a good reason to go your separate ways, and let's normalize that this year, right? So know who you are, know what you want. If it chooses you, go ahead and be in a relationship. But if at some point you find out that you're starting to go your separate ways, you have different life goals or dreams or whatever it is, it doesn't mean you shouldn't accommodate certain things, but you know when you're completely misaligned. You know when your values no longer align or you're just wanting something different from your life. Let's
Yeah.
normalize that. So make sure that you're not staying stuck in a relationship that's no longer serving you.
Hmm.
So I think that kind of covers all the things that we kind of talked about up until now. So yeah, that's how we're moving forward in 2025. Anything else you'd like to add? This one.
um. Wow. I mean, I think those are the biggest ones. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I would say also with that, make yourself presentable, or how do I say, I don't know, maybe it's more of showing that you're open. Okay. So, like, it amazes me, and I'm gonna say this, like, generally speaking, like how you can walk down the street and you see somebody and they'll turn the other way or not speak or do whatever, right? Like, I'm like, dude, at least being raised in the South, you speak to people when you see them.
Mm.
Okay, it's even worse. Seems like if you're a man and you go talk to a woman, or you see a woman, it's like she's like, look, I'm like, dude, there's nothing in the sky because you can't even see it, right? There's nothing up there. What are you doing, right? Like, um, and so as a woman, when you're out,
Yeah.
like, truth be told, like you don't need to go to the bar, right? Like, you don't need to go to the bar and all that. Like, don't trip on that. Like, just be open. A smile.
Yeah.
A smile does works wonders.
Wow.
Not
It's free.
only, and it makes you feel good
Mm.
yourself. So showing up with a smile, or yo, do you know you can be? I know women always think it's about just you being like physically seen,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I'm telling you, you show up with the right a smile, the power of femininity, like that feminine energy, the nurturing, and I'm not talking about nurturing from like a motherly place. There's just something that women have that, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a beauty queen, but you show up with the smile,
Mm.
and you look like you take care of yourself. You don't have to be a size zero,
Mm.
right? You smile, you look like you take care of yourself. Yeah, you got that, as I always say, sweet chick. I was like, oh, she seemed like a sweet chick. You be surprised. You'd be like, dang, I can't get them off of me. Like every dude
Mhm.
in the place is looking at you, even though you got the Instagram model thing going on right beside you. They don't want her. They're looking at you. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
Guarantee you. So yeah,
Yeah.
openness
So,
goes a
so
long way. Yes, it
yeah.
does.
So Elmira is here as well. We had a masterclass a while ago, and she really talked about this particular thing you're talking about, like being open, being approachable, right? It's not always boss lady, who the hell do you think you are talking to me? Always sizing people down, trying to cut them down because you need to position yourself as this super high class, super high quality woman. It really doesn't work. So that openness, it's
Mhm.
even the way you dress,
Yes.
the way you look. There's just a certain look that is very off-putting to men, right? So if you're really open heart-wise, because your heart has to be open anyway before love can come in, but you also have to present yourself in a way that is approachable. So even
Mhm.
if it's a bunch of girls going out, 5 ladies going out, it takes a very, very bold man to go talk to one. But even if you're in that sort of circle, there's a certain kind of energy they can give off that a man might still be able to approach.
Yeah.
But what happens is 5 women are together, a man's trying to step up to one of them, and the others that are not being looked at are like, who the hell
Yeah.
does he think he
Oh
is?
my God.
Right?
Yes. Yes. And they will
They
sabotage the
will.
whole thing. So
Yeah.
so then to that point, Joe, how did okay, so if I'm helping the fellas out, how do we approach that? Because I'm gonna be like in Charlotte, we go out to dinner, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see, let's say there's 20 tables, half of those tables some nights are full of like girls' night out.
Yeah.
6 to 10, 15 women. No, I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Right. And so I'm like, dang, if you're a dude, I know right off the bat, like, ain't none of y'all getting no dude. Cause first of all, we looking like, nah, I'm not doing that. Right. And then, unless she breaks off from the crowd and you have to go, you know, um, but like, I just had a picture of, like the wildebeest running and the one breaks off and you gotta go catch. But anyway, yeah, like what do you do with that? What do we as men? How do we infiltrate that, so to speak?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that? Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like,
I
oh
do.
no.
So what is your advice to women? Go out on your own, or just go out in smaller groups, or just
Well, smaller groups is okay. Um, I think that really, yeah, she should go loud along sometimes, right? Um, right, yeah, and then like I think that hang around with women who want you to win.
oof, that's a big one.
Okay,
That, that's a big one.
yeah, yeah, like Dom said, women should shoot their shot. Yeah, you just at least make it so that I know that it's
Yeah.
safe, quote unquote safe to approach, right? Like, but like you know, if if you don't feel good, like Joy's saying, she don't feel safe, like that's fine, right? But go out with other women who want you to win and who are like, girl, yeah, right? Like not oh no, blah blah blah. And and keep in mind, and this is for people in general, sometimes it's anytime somebody gives you advice, consider the source and where they are,
Yeah. Yeah. We might just be
right?
projecting it. Yep.
Exactly. So your friend, so-called friend, if she's a little, she's a little funky,
Mm.
maybe you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you shouldn't listen to her. Like, girl, hold on, let me just check it out. I'll decide, right? But like, I really think that like, I know it's inherently competitive. Right? I know women say, "Well, I ain't fighting for no man." Well, unfortunately, you kind of are, right? Because I would hate to be a woman. I'll just be honest with you, trying to because because it's not in your favor, right? Just from the numbers, it's already against, just purely from numbers. We nothing else, right? And then I meet dudes. I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? Like, no, that's not how. that's not how we do it, right? Like you need to be better, right? You need to be better. Like even some of my best friends, I'm like, hey man, why we hitting 50? Why you still doing that kind of thing? Or why haven't you tried to, really look at yourself? Or why aren't you da 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 da? Like, aren't you tired of this? Right? Don't Hey man, we got limited time left. Don't you want it to be the best time of your life? Right? So but yeah, like ladies, please don't believe the hype. Instagram is not your friend.
It's not
um
real.
yeah, choose your friends wisely, like your girlfriends. Like you should be rooting for each other, not against each other. Right? And y'all know who the cheerleaders are in your court and who aren't, right? You might have to leave them behind.
Okay,
Everybody can't go.
friends. Yep.
Yeah, right. And what's very clear, if we go back to point one where we talked about doing the work, those people are gonna fall to the wayside because they're not gonna like you anymore.
Absolutely. And there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
As you
Nothing wrong
grow,
with that.
you lose friends. That is the reality of growth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
I
I
would
know
tell
we've talked a lot about women. So maybe, and I know that there's some men on this call.
yeah.
So what is some advice that you might have for men? Because I know that men are struggling as well. Probably even more than women. Like I have more men in my DMs screaming, "Joan, find me a woman," than women. So what is happening there for this year?
Is same the same thing that I just answered for women was really for men too, right? Start with yourself, right? Um, you got to figure out what you want. You got to do the work on yourself. And here's the thing: it's highly unlikely that any of us will ever be completely healed, right?
Mm.
Cool, but you got to start, right? And you should be able. If I thought about this. Like if I were gonna go on a date, I was like, "Hey, so tell me about your top three traumas." They're like, "What?" Right? We cut this out right away, right? But like, man, like that would definitely change the landscape because it would immediately show, like, "Hey, have I even considered this? Am I really, staying in the victim triangle all the time?" There's so much to it, but anyway, but men, like, you got to get yourself together, right? You need to get around some men who hold you accountable, right? Uh, Man, if you are blaming everybody else around you for your lack of whatever, mm-mm, no sir, that ain't gonna work, right? If you are, you know, that you aren't doing the best you can, if just be honest with yourself. Again, going back to that mirror, being honest with yourself. Like women want a man who's gonna lead, who's gonna come with his masculine, right? And I wasn't taught this. I had to learn it, right? That doesn't mean going along with everything your woman says because she the boss. When in fact, let's just let me just lay it out like this. Okay, if a woman is looking for safety and security, right? If you won't stand your ground with her, what makes her think you would stand your ground outside of her?
Yep.
Okay, so if she wants safety and security, you got to be a man who can provide that for her, right? And that means that you're gonna have to stand your ground sometime, even against her.
Mm.
And it's really not against her; it's just like a test, so to speak, right? Women don't know they doing it, but they do it, right? Like it's cool, right? And really just understanding that, like, if look at it like your job, right? So, does your boss always let you do or tell you, like, you can't just do anything, right? Leaders of a company, they set the vision.
Hmm.
They set that, and then we say, all right, well, these are going to be our roles. Let's set all this up. So if you don't set those things up in your relationship, you ain't leading. right? So how do you do that, right? You got to work on yourself first, and then you need to learn the skills, and you need to be around other men and have counsel, seek counsel amongst men. That's even written biblically if you follow that. But in most circles, men, in most cultures, men hang around men because they need the counsel in order to lead the tribe or the community. So if you're not around men who you can seek counsel honestly, right? Not just a dude who's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, man, I agree with you." No, I tell you, bro, no, you tripping. You need to chill. Like your woman's right. You messing up, right? I should be able to tell that to you, and you not go or walk away with your tail between your legs. It's like, okay, well, let me get right. So what is the right thing, right? And so with men, we just got to be more one self-aware, do the same work, be honest,
Mm-hmm.
and show up.
Yeah.
Show up. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Lots and lots of nuggets today. Oh my God. Like, someone say men shoot your shot and vet quickly. Well, it goes the same way. Women should do the same as well. And then Joe will say, know your trauma and know how they show up. And that all
Yeah.
goes back to doing the work, right? Let 2025 be the year that you choose you. And that means you put that mirror up and you see what work you need to do for yourself. And only when you've, like you said, Sean, you can never be fully healed, but you can be on the journey,
Yeah.
right? And
That's right.
how far you are along the journey will determine who you're able to attract. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
You only attract who you are, not who you think you are or who you hope to be in the future. It's wherever you're at, those are the type of people that you're able to attract. So the sooner you start doing the work, the sooner you can start to attract better people into your life. And it's both ways, men and women.
Yeah. And Joan, I would say too, like we talk about it being a journey. You mentioned it being a journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine this. You as a man and a woman show up to the bus stop or train stop, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You got your bags, she got her bags. Okay. We get ready to go on this journey. Can we carry these bags together? Right? Like, are we gonna be able to carry all this stuff? Or like it's like, man, look, I don't know if I can carry that and this too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So either you're gonna have to do the work to release some of those
Some of
bags,
it. Mm-hmm.
or know, at some point during the journey, you're like, hey man, we about to jump out of plane. You can't have that bag, you're gonna fall too fast. They're like, nah, I'm gonna keep it. Well, I tell you what,
Don't crash.
I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm gonna
I'll
go
see you
this way,
later.
you go that way. Thank you. Right? Like, and if you just think about it, like, hey man, and we have to remember that we aren't completely healed, right? Um, and you gotta figure out like, is this something that I can deal with as this person works through it or not, right? And either way, it's okay. I still believe that. Like I always go back to it's okay, right? Like we're not gonna die, right? It's a matter of understanding like you're not gonna be as happy as you could be or be fulfilled as you could be if you don't get what you want, right? And the other thing I would say when we talk about choose like I think we have to be careful um, because you see all over the gram and different places about self first,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we have to remember that that self has to be. Don't forget that it's also about leading with love and treating people with love and kindness and respect. Um, and that do you is not meant to be a do you and bump
Yeah.
everybody else,
No. It's a
right?
start with you.
It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
it's a start with you in the
Mm-hmm.
context of the rest of the world, right? And
Yep.
that you can still show up for other people as they show up for you, leading with love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like so that because sometimes I think people just miss it and they think oh it's all about me, 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 me. And then what
Mm-hmm.
happens is as we go through the indoctrination of that message,
Mm-hmm.
it's disconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
as we disconnect, right, then we hurt and we lose ourselves because we disconnected when as humans we should be like this. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be quiet.
No, absolutely. I agree with that. And like you said, it's just all in context because the flip side is people live for everybody else, don't take time for themselves, don't know who they are, and now you're just a people pleaser. People walk all over you, and you're still unhappy, and you're still not on any healing journey of any
Hmm.
sorts. So it starts with you, right? Self love, self respect, self healing. Go on that journey, and then that will reflect back to the world, and you can show up in love for other people too. But
Yeah.
if you look to other people externally all the time for that happiness and fulfillment, you will be disappointed.
Yes.
You will be so disappointed. Okay, so we've been talking for so long now, and I think we can wrap up now. So thank you so much for being here,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Super, super amazing conversation. I knew it was going to be fun. And thank you to Joy who introduced us. She's on the call as
Yes.
well. This was super amazing, and I hope it was really helpful for everyone who was on here. I
Yeah.
only work with women for now. So if you're a woman and you want to go on this healing journey, this all the things we're talking about, mindset, about mastery,
Hmm.
about knowing yourself, healing, becoming that best version of yourself, so
Yeah.
that you can attract the love that you desire. Reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you and support you any way that I can.
Yeah.
And for everybody else, if you're looking for, like Sean said, if you're a man, you need to have counsel. You need to find a group of men that can support you and guide you so that you're not going into 2025 making the same mistakes and blaming everybody else because, of
Yeah.
course, that's what the internet wants us to believe. So thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, for being here with us. Any
Thank
final words
you.
for them, Sean,
Uh,
before we drop off?
no, lead with love. That's it.
I love that. Lead with love. Lead with love, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us and see
Thank
all we
you.
said. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.